welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome. How's your mom? How are the kids? So I want to show you the book that I'm going to be reading this week, and that is Sally Rooney's Normal People. Now this is the UK cover because the UK cover is a lot better than the US cover. This is the US cover. Ugly. This is way cuter. Let me give you a little synopsis of Normal People. Okay, I'm gonna read you the back of the book. Connell, and should I read this in an Irish accent? My Irish sounds Scottish. And I'm not really sure if I'm ready to be that vulnerable on the internet yet. Let me see if I can do it. Connell and Marion. I feel like that's Scottish. My pizza rolls are done. But the similarities in there, that's Australian. In school, I'm just gonna read it in my nice southern accent. Okay. Connell and Marianne grew up in the same small town in the west of Ireland. That's Scottish. But the similarities in there. In school, Connell is popular and well-liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. A situationship to last the ages. Normal People is a story of mutual fascination, friendship, and love. It takes us from that very first conversation to the years beyond in the company of two people who try to stay apart but find they can't. So I'm excited to read this. Now, the thing about Sally Rooney, this is a page of dialogue, and if you can see, the only punctuation are periods and commas. There are no quotation marks. There's no spacing. It's just a wall of text. So that might take some getting used to. The other thing about this book is I, unfortunately, have lived the situationship life. And I'm currently free from the shackles of the situationship. But I fear this is going to be kind of triggering. But hopefully, this will allow me to see... I don't know what I'm talking about. Now, I also would like to annotate this, but I don't have anything to annotate with. So I may have to make an unfortunate purchase to the Zon to get some, because I want like that giant super mega pack. Other than the obvious experience of reading this book, I'm also excited to watch the show. And a lot of people compare it to One Day, which I read that book in January, and that was a horror story, and I loved it. And then I watched the show afterwards, and
emotional damage.
Yeah, that was a lot. Loved it a lot. I feel like the show version of Normal People is seen by people the same as One Day was. I do have this on my Kindle. I don't have this as an audiobook, but I'm gonna see if I can find one on Hoopla or Libby. So let's go ahead and get started reading.
Good to go? She says. Yeah, says Connell. Thanks for everything, Lorraine, says Marianne. See you next week.
Okay, so I figured I'd read outside for a little bit today. So far, my thoughts are that I have no thoughts. I had to whip out the audiobook, kind of understand the dynamic of conversation, because again, there are no quotation marks. So that takes a little bit of getting used to, but having the audiobook is definitely helping kind of understand the flow a little bit better. So this is about Connell and Marianne, and they are friends, and there's a car coming, so hold on. And they definitely ran that stop sign. So basically, they're friends, but at the same time, there's like a weird attraction tension thing going on. They have kissed. And it's just like awkward and weird, and honestly, kind of normal. So this book is basically about situationships and how they can ruin your entire life. And as someone who's been in several situationships, I totally understand. Like, I get it. I'm a few chapters in. I'm still like very much at the beginning. It's very relatable. I don't know if they're gonna get together in the end or not. Is that how this book works? I don't really know. Even though I'm pretty much at the beginning, I definitely think that Paul Mescal and Daisy Edgar-Jones were the perfect cast. They fit so perfectly as these two characters, and I haven't even like read that much of it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It sounds good, and it feels really nice to be able to sit out in the sun too and read for a little bit. So chill day, and I'm very full and I'm very tired, so I may go to bed early tonight, but I wanted to get some pages in today. So see you tomorrow. You like jazz? It's Monday night, and I'd like to give a little update of where I am. Okay, I'm like a quarter of the way through. I don't want it to be focused on me. Is it focused? Stop. Don't focus on me. Okay, I'm like a quarter of the way through. I like it. So this is a literary fiction, which means the people are the plot. This is a character-driven story and not a plot-driven story. There is no plot. I would say the plot of this book is just Connell and Marianne trying to figure out how they fit into each other's lives. I have a lot of thoughts about this book, and I have a lot of thoughts about their relationship, and I have a lot of thoughts about the story. I don't really know what Sally has been through herself, but she's hitting the nail on the head for real. Okay, so let's talk about Connell. So Connell is insecure, described as being handsome, quiet, kind of introspective. When they are in high school, he's like a popular guy. He's friends with a lot of people. People love him and gravitate to him. And Connell's family kind of is working class, basically. And then in contrast, Marianne's family, they are rich. She's grew up with money. And even though she grew up with money and has money, she's kind of like an outcast at school, and people will find her weird, in her words, unlikable, unlovable. And so the reason Connell and Marianne even know each other is because Connell's mother works for Marianne's family. She's like their housekeeper. So when Connell's mom has to go to work, he'll basically drop off his mom and then hang out with Marianne for a little bit. And that's kind of like been their routine. So that's kind of like their relationship. When they're in high school, Connell is very embarrassed of Marianne. Like, he doesn't want to be seen in school with her because she's not popular. So he only hangs out with her when his mom is working at her house. I feel like I find that really sad, and I find that really relatable too from like Marianne's perspective. And I find myself really resonating with Marianne's character. She's quiet and she thinks that she herself is unlovable, and she doesn't really know how to stand up for herself yet. So they've been hanging out for a while. Connell has like this weird attraction to her, and it's not even necessarily like romantic. Like, he just enjoys who he is around her. Like, he doesn't feel like he has to be what his friends want. Like, he can just be himself. And then the same thing goes for Marianne. Like, she can be herself when she's around Connell. When they're together, they're their true selves. So long story short, they start hooking up, but Connell's like, we cannot tell anybody, it has to be secret. And honestly, Marianne's cool with that too. She doesn't want people knowing really either. But she knows that Connell doesn't want people to know because he's embarrassed of her. And whatever insecurities that he has, he's kind of projecting that onto her because he wants to be well-liked and have friends, and she kind of just could care less, basically, about it. She's okay with being alone. And I think that makes him intimidated by her. I don't know. It's a really interesting dynamic. I've definitely dated a couple people that I'm kind of being reminded of them. He'll say stuff, and, like, his dialogue is so... He'll say stuff like, you know, I really like you a lot. And then Marianne will be like, well, yeah. And then he won't ever, like, address it. Like, he won't ever do anything about it. Like, he wants, it's like that guy that you date and he doesn't want a title. And not that titles are everything, but, like, what are we doing? Like, are we just doing this just to do it? Is there a goal here? Like, what's going on? But he won't commit. Like, he won't say, like, okay, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, you know, it's always like, oh, we're just friends. But it's like, the stuff y'all are doing, friends don't be doing that. Where I am in the book now, they're in college, and the roles have kind of reversed. Marianne is super popular, and people like her, and then Connell is kind of like the loner outsider now. So their roles have kind of switched now. In a lot of aspects, and especially the internal dialogue that Sally Rooney is like describing that these characters are going through, is extremely relatable, especially dating now It's like clearly they like each other. I don't know. And I really love their characters because they're both weird and awkward and insecure in their own ways. And it makes for like a really, in my opinion, a really compelling story. And I have gotten used to there not being any quotation marks. I can definitely read it and be okay now. I don't read a lot of lit fic, so I'm waiting for like plot twists or, you know, major story developments, but I keep remembering like, unless something major happens in one of these characters' lives, like this is basically the story. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. Like that's the only thing that I can say. That's crazy. Okay, well I guess that means it's time to go to bed. Hi. Here to talk about normal people a little bit. Also, I'm using a different camera setting on my phone. Hopefully it looks good. So I am about 40% into normal people right now. And I wanted to read like a little passage that I just came across. Basically, this is post-high school for Marianne and Connell. Right before they graduated, Marianne basically cut Connell off because he pretty much humiliated her, betrayed her. During the last few months of school, obviously they kissed and then they started hooking up, you know, in secret, right? Because Connell didn't want people to look at him negatively because he would want to be seen as dating Marianne because she's kind of like the weirdo kid. Connell's like the super popular guy. Everyone likes him. They're both kind of people pleasers, but in different ways. Connell's kind of like, he really cares about how people view him. Marianne kind of doesn't care. Like, she's content with being a loner. She's content with, you know, being by herself, not having very many friends. But at the same time, she's allowing Connell to basically manipulate her in some ways and humiliate her by basically being ashamed to have people know that they like each other. So at the end of the school year, there's a dance. It's kind of like assumed that Connell was going to ask Marianne. He doesn't. He ends up asking a girl named Rachel who actively like bullied Marianne when she was in school. Of course, this upsets Marianne and she completely cuts him off. Like, she tells his mom that, hey, I don't want him coming over here anymore. And even his mom is like, no, I agree with you. That was a jerk move of him to do. Like, I cannot believe my son would do something like that. I'm ashamed of him. Shout out to mom. She basically stops taking his calls, doesn't answer his text messages, even goes as far as to just quit school, only show up for her like final exams. I love that she was standing on business and she was not about to break no contact with this man. So they both got into the same college. Connell has a random guy in his class. His name is Garrett. Garrett asks Connell where he's from and he tells him, and he's like, oh, my girlfriend's from around there. So he's like, okay, I'll introduce you. Garrett introduces them, and of course it's Marianne, right? She's got this new boyfriend. Marianne's basically thriving in college. She's got all these friends that are like cool and that, you know, want to be around her and like her. She's got a handsome boyfriend and she looks happy, and it's something that Connell sees and is like, oh wow. So it's kind of like their roles have reversed basically. So once they meet this time, it kind of starts their cycle over again. Like, they're only seeing each other, but they're also not exclusively seeing each other, if that makes any sense. Like, neither one of them are really wanting to confirm, like, we are 100% together and we want to be with each other. I want to read this passage because it's really interesting to me. So one of Marianne's friends is, like, talking to them, and she's like, so are you guys in an open relationship? What's tea or whatever? And this is, like, a super uncomfortable conversation. Connell is more... he has actual anxiety. Like, the way it's described, like when he reacts to stuff, it's giving very much panic attack. Marianne is saying like, I know you wouldn't be super into that, and I don't think I would be either. But she's like, but if that was something you wanted to do, I'd follow along. And he just stares at her. He says, you shouldn't do things that you don't want to. Marianne says, oh, I didn't mean that, and just kind of like dismissive about it. And this is like kind of Connell's reaction to like this interaction. He has a terrible sense all of a sudden that he could hit her face, very hard even, and she would just sit there and let him. The idea frightens him so badly that he pulls his chair back and stands up. His hands are shaking. He doesn't know why he thought about it. Maybe he wants to do it, but it makes him feel sick. I don't really know what about this paragraph specifically that's really like making me think. My only thought is like, I feel like Connell knows that she is a people pleaser and that she is a pushover, and she'll kind of just go along with anyone as long as it's available to her. This is very interesting that he is having like physical body reactions. One, I do think that it was like a scary, intrusive thought for him to have, that like, oh, I could punch her right now and she would just probably come crawling back to me, or she would just take it and not even like say anything about it, you know? Something about this is really interesting right now, and I feel like I wish that I was more articulate and could explain this better. I have a lot of thoughts. I feel like I'm gonna need to reread this book to like catch on to more of the concepts. Again, like, this is not a plot-driven story. This is a character-driven story. And I'm just interested in like how their relationship continues to change. I'm assuming they're gonna actually define the relationship at some point. I hope. Anyways, those are my thoughts currently. If I think of more thoughts, I will obviously update you today. Also, I'm gonna be starting a new audiobook, a thriller, and it is, I think it's First Lie Wins. I'm gonna put it on the screen. So I'm gonna be reading that. And then I'm probably gonna be able to finish this by Thursday, I think. So I think after I finish this, and then I'm gonna start First Lie Wins, and then I'm gonna start Ace of Spades. I think that's the kind of schedule I wanna do for this month. And that'll be leaving me with The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna and Project Hail Mary as well. So that's all. Okay. Good afternoon. It is Thursday, and I did not talk to y'all at all yesterday. So let me give you a little reading update of where I am. So first off, I finished Normal People yesterday evening. I'm still kind of processing the book. Still trying to figure out my overall thoughts. Well, that's a lie. My overall thoughts are that I really enjoyed the book. I liked it. Definitely felt triggered in some ways. I don't know how to explain it. I felt that it was very relatable as far as what the book is about. So basically, this is a situationship to end all situationships. Every so often, they're still like back in each other's lives. Sometimes for good, sometimes for worse. Sometimes, you know, they're good and things are fun and they feel like themselves again, but then something happens and it kind of makes one of them scared and they kind of pull back. I personally could see myself in both Marianne and Connell, like their characters, which is, you know, concerning. Knowing their backstories, you kind of understand why they feel this way. And especially Marianne, like, she is someone who was physically and emotionally abused by her family, so she just feels like she's not worthy of love. Because she's never experienced real love, then how is she gonna expect this guy to love her? My family, my parents, my brother, these are people who say they love me, they're supposed to love me, and they're the ones who are abusing me physically, emotionally, verbally. So she just feels like she is not worthy of a happy life. She ends up blaming herself for a lot of the things that have happened to her because she feels like, well, maybe I'm not a good person. Like, maybe my family is right. I'm worthless. I don't deserve anything. I'm stupid. I'm, you know, all the negative things that people can and will tell you sometimes. She's with Connell. She still feels that way. It's almost like the minute things start getting really serious, she pulls back. Other than situationship, the other story of this book is when you are yourself very deeply insecure and sad and don't feel like you're worth a better relationship. I still don't really know if I feel like they should be together or not, because they say, which I don't have my book, and I forgot my Kindle today. It's a very sad day. You know, one of the things that they mention throughout the book is like they feel their truest, safest self when they are with the other person. But then I'm thinking, okay, but is that just you guys being codependent on the other person, or is it real, you know? I finished it. I immediately was like, I need to reread this. I found a little kiss in my purse. I also started another book the other night called First Lie Wins, and here's the cover of it. This is a Reese Witherspoon's book club pick. I know sometimes people said that her books are kind of like hit or miss on if they're actually good or not. It's about a girl who I'm only a few chapters in, so I don't really know. It's almost giving like she's a spy. I'm not hating it. Also, I started Ace of Spades yesterday. Okay, so Ace of Spades is about 2 black kids in a PWI high school. So there's very, very few other black kids in this specific high school. The guy's name is Devon, and then the girl's name is, I think it's Chicamanda. Basically, there's a anonymous texter. It's also giving like, what's this show? You know, Pretty Little Liars. So yeah, it's kind of like Pretty Little Liars because it has the anonymous text thing. Oh, I guess that's Gossip Girl too. So there's an anonymous texter, and they call themselves Ace. Mainly, they're bashing Chicamanda and Devon, like all of their dirty secrets. The first big one is they outed Devon as being gay. The first thing with Chicamanda is that they somehow planted candy in her coat jacket. She was with her friend Jessie at the store, and the shop owner was like, "Why are you stealing?" And she was like, "Yo, I did not steal." And he's like, "Okay, let me check her pockets." And he pulls out candy. The next mass text is like, "You don't want prison records on your Yale application," basically. So Chicamanda's like, boss babe, she is queen bee, she's top of the class, like she's president of every single club, and she does not care who she has to hurt to get there. And then Devon is kind of like a quiet loner kid. He just wants to play music and get into Juilliard. That's his main concern. So he's not really in any type of social circle, really. Every chapter, there's like a big thing that is revealed. Chicamanda's got some dirt on her, bro. She's been involved in some stuff. I'm worried for her. So the overall theme of the story is like, who is trying to tear our 2 black kids down? Who is being racist? But yeah, it's really good so far. But yeah, so anyways, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it so far. I'll probably be able to finish it this weekend. Also, my audiobook just dropped for my sister, the serial killer, so I'll probably be starting that this weekend as well. I got some good reading in store for me. That's all I really gotta say, I think. That's all I really gotta say. Hi, reading update. So today is Friday. It's the afternoon. I think it's 3:20. I've been reading all morning, basically. I've been reading Ace of Spades all morning. I'm officially 65%, hold on. I'm 65% in. I don't want to like spoil anything, but the book is described like as Gossip Girl meets the movie Get Out. Yeah. In this point in the story, things are about to come to a head. Like there was a major plot point that just happened and I'm like, floored. It's like fast paced and slow paced at the same time. So I guess that would be medium, but it's not really medium. It's like a slow burn. Also, sorry the camera's so shaky. There are some random plot points that I'm like, why is this relevant? But I guess it's gonna come out for a reason. I don't really know. I like it, it's really good. 2 other things. Number 1, my sister's serial killer just came off hold, and You Again came off hold for my audiobooks. Forgot that I was on hold for the Raiders of the Lost. What's in that book? Raiders of the Lost Heart, which is like a romance book that is kind of like National Treasure vibes. So that just came off hold too on my Libby. So I have a lot of books to read this month. I still have to do The Nightingale and Project Hail Mary. Those are my last 2 books of the month that I like know that I want to finish. I'm expecting The Nightingale to take me a few days, at least a week. That way I can end on not such a depressing end on Project Hail Mary, which it still might make me depressed and cry. I'm probably gonna be able to finish this tonight. But today, what we're gonna do today, I have it in my soul that I need to go get a Costco membership because I really want a rotisserie chicken. And I want specifically a Costco chicken. So I'm gonna go sign up for a membership today. Costco membership is $65, but I do have a $25 gift card. If I girl math it, I'm only gonna pay $40 for the membership, so. We're gonna go do that, and then we're gonna see if there's any books at Costco. I really need to put myself on a book buying ban. The amount of books I have, let me show you the books that I have right now. So these are all the books that I've bought in January and February. Like, and I have another box coming. Like this, who needs this many books? But, you know, also ignore that. That's still from when I like moved in. Yeah, these are all the books that I have. I have like 6 more books coming. So do I really need to buy more books? No, but I really want to look. So I'm gonna go look at more books. Like, buying books is just as much of a hobby as reading books. I don't make the rules. So we're gonna go to Costco. We're gonna get a membership. We're gonna see what we have. I'm gonna go get a rotisserie chicken and like buy some other house stuff, groceries that I may need. And then we'll come back and we'll get back to reading.
Let me sit my stupid ass down. Bro.
Okay, we've made it to Costco. And there's a little doggy in the car in front of me. Let me show you. Hey girl, or boy. He was in this window, but they moved. You know what's really funny to me is when like men that are like giants, like 6'5" plus and like big, are in little tiny cars. I'm gonna get my membership and see the kind of stuff that they have in here. I haven't been to Costco in a hot minute. I just left Costco. Turns out they don't have books. Also, I switched my camera around so the steering wheel is less like in the frame. And it does look better as I'm like looking at it. You already know what I picked up. Oh yeah, baby. It smells so good. I'm gonna make basically like a chicken bean salad kind of situation. So there's like a meal that I make. A can of black beans, red beans, garbanzo beans, and then I'm gonna add like chicken in it, lettuce, and like rice. It should be good. So I may eat that for like my early, I guess like technically that'd be like supper, I guess. So I picked up this is a grocery haul. I picked up my chicken and I got 18 eggs, and they're kind of local. They're from a farm in like the North Alabama area, so they're kind of local. So I got 18 of those for $6.87, which isn't bad. Like the price of 18 eggs at Kroger I think is like $7 or $8. And then I got a bag of these chicken strips that I have been hearing good things about. I love a little chicken strip for like a quick little dinner. And I got a big old bag of rice too. Anyways, back to why I'm even making this video. Ace of Spades. Hey, what? Another huge plot twist that I kind of saw coming. I'm not like that shocked about it, but there was one that I was like, oh shoot, that sucks. You cannot trust people for real. This book is very heavily focused on race and how dealing with that, especially if they're the wrong people who are in charge, can truly ruin your entire life. Some of it is very like thematic and exaggerated to a point, but also I know for a fact that in some ways, I'm sure there are places and institutions currently that follow this kind of vibe, especially when you hear about things like hazing, and especially if someone is a person of color and they're in a sorority or fraternity and they're getting, you know, hazed, how that is an inspiration for this book. Hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler, but honestly, like reading the book, like the back of the book, and just like within the first couple of chapters, like you can deduct that's what the book is basically about. But I am liking it. I have like a few hours remaining of this book. All right, well, I'm at a red light and there's a cop next to me. So I'm gonna get off. Okay, so I just finished Ace of Spades. Overall, I really enjoyed the book. Wow, it's so messy. Okay, ignore the background. Okay, let's talk about that ending. Fell a little bit flat for me. I felt like I was missing a lot of, there were still loose ends that I feel like needed to be tied up that weren't. I don't know, I just feel like the ending was a bit unrealistic, which I know that it's like a novel. Like, books are not always going to be accurate accurate. Are not going to be accurate to the actual reality of X situation. But I feel like there was like things that were introduced to the book that I was like, okay, but what about that thing? And there were like characters that were introduced that I just never heard about again. It was satisfying in some ways, but it left me with more questions like, how did y'all get to the epilogue? Like, what happened in between that time? I'm confused. Final verdict, Ace of Spades. I liked it. I think I would recommend it. I think I'm going to give it like a 4-star, 4.25 maybe. So I finished that book, and then like I was saying earlier, I had a couple books come off hold on my Libby. I think I'm gonna read a little bit of First Lie Wins tonight, just like a few chapters. What time is it? It's 9:18. I didn't realize it was already 9 o'clock, so I think I'm gonna finish this episode of this show that I'm watching, and then I'll probably start getting a little bit more into First Lie Wins, and then I'll be updating you on that. So I might be able to finish that this weekend, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow probably with an update, or maybe tonight later on First Lie Wins. Bye. Hi, good afternoon. It's like almost 4 o'clock. I would just like to report that I finished My Sister the Serial Killer, and I'm gonna be really honest with you. It was not that good. It was very okay. I don't know how else to describe it other than it was okay. The plot was literally just a girl whose sister has no remorse for anything and is a spoiled brat, which I guess that is kind of the story, but like the way people were hyping it up, I just expected a little bit more, and I did not get any of that. That's my review on that. It was very mid, very okay. So that was a book I read in like one sitting. I just sat down and like read it. I started at like 12 and it's 3:48, so it took me almost about 4 hours to read it. Yeah, I'm really disappointed with that book. There are a couple books I want to get into, so I still have not back into First Lie Wins. I definitely am going to do that probably tonight, get a good chunk of that done. You Again just became available on audiobook, so I'm probably going to listen to that during the week at work. So I'm going to make me a little salad, a little chicken salad, and yeah, get to reading. And I'm going to clean up a little bit too. Okay, this is a mad boring clip, so sorry. Hi, welcome to my lunch break, and welcome to me updating you what I've been up to. Also, I'm so sorry for how that I look like I've been unwell. So I did not read at all yesterday in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna just update you on things that are happening in my life. Number one, there's a bird, since learning that's a mockingjay, and not a mockingjay. Yeah, that's I was like, that's not a real bird. Mockingjays are real. I don't know why I acted like that wasn't a real bird. Like, shout out Katniss. There's a mockingjay that's got to be like down the street from me, and it is so loud. He's been starting every single night at like midnight to 1 a.m. and is like screaming, singing. I'm really ashy right now too. Sorry, you'll be okay. He's trying to get laid, and I mean, I respect the hustle, but like, I'm also trying to sleep. So can you just use the apps like everyone else? This is crazy. So I'm exhausted. One thing about Jimmy John's is your stuff gonna be sliding off that bread. I did start editing a YouTube video, and it took me 5,000 years because I had to go over like, I think it was like 90 minutes worth of me just talking. And when I say talking, I mean me stuttering and fumbling over my words and not being able to string together a coherent sentence. That'll be going up sometime this week, hopefully. My goal was by Wednesday. So on Instagram today, I just posted my weekly roundup of all the books that I read. My Instagram gets so low engagement. It's kind of frustrating, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm having fun doing it. I'm actually having a little more fun on video, like long form content, so I don't know. That might be like where I direct a majority of my attention. Okay, so let's go into what I'm reading today. I started You Again by Kate Goldbeck, this book right here. I'm about 20% in, and it's okay. Have yet to find a likable quality about either of our main characters, Josh and Allie, I think her name is. Allie's annoying because why are you so horny all the time? Like, they're not, it's like, it's not even spicy. It's like, why is every single thing you say out of your mouth like a sexual reference? Like, take a chill pill. Please get on an antidepressant, okay? That's a niche joke. It is what it is. And once I get off of this phone, I'm gonna get back into First Lie Wins. Also, one of my friends just told me that she hated this book, which is funny because she normally likes a lot of books, and I kind of would like something to rant about and be annoyed by. on the internet. So looking forward to that. That's kind of like the vibe for today. I'm gonna finish eating my sandwich. I'm gonna get back into this Kindle book. No one's asked, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. So when I'm reading 2 books at a time, usually I'm reading an audiobook and then I'm reading a physical copy or something on my Kindle. So normally, especially during the work week, I'm listening to the book as I'm working. And then once I get on break or I get home, I'm gonna usually pick back up my physical copy of that book or my Kindle of that book. And I'm usually reading like 2 to 4 books at a time. And I am a mood reader, so sometimes a book that I'm currently reading is like not hitting. And then sometimes the environment which I'm reading the book in is also not conducive to the book that I'm reading, so I gotta switch it up, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna eat my little Sammy, and I will update you on this book, First Line Wins, to see if I end up hating it. Okay, quick update on First Line Wins before I go back into work. I'm still kind of confused of what's going on right now. So basically, this is about a girl who has lived multiple different identities, essentially. And the current one that we're reading about, her boyfriend is also being shady, and he has some things that are weird happening too. I just got some background information of her original life. Interesting, because something just happened to her. And she was kind of blindsided by that thing, which is intriguing. The only thing I can hear is Darby's voice in the back of my head saying that book sucked. So hopefully it doesn't lose a lot of steam. Hopefully it kind of keeps this weirdness going on. And I hope that it ties it up nicely at the end. Good morning, Vietnam. Okay. We are on our way to work this morning, and I wanted to give a little update on the books. Take a shot every time I say so in this video. Good grief. You're probably already behind like 7. Okay. I almost said it again. Okay. First Line Wins. I didn't read any more last night other than the part that I told you where she just got shaken up a little bit. Okay. So let's talk about you again really quick. I fear I am wanting to DNF it. I fear. The writing is so childish. The lighting is so atrocious. I'm so sorry. Should I do like this? The writing is just so horny, and for like literally no reason. It's one thing if it's like spice, but it's not even spice. And it's not even like flirting either. Like, it's like they're just talking about sex all the time. And when I mean they, I mean our female lead. Is that all you think about? All day, every day? Like, there's no other character traits to her other than she talks about sex, like, all the time. Like, all of her chapters are centered around either a sexual encounter, a sexual act, the discussion of sex in itself. Like, it's this very one-dimensional. I think that her character could be really interesting because she is someone who doesn't believe in like the quote-unquote one. She doesn't believe in soulmates. And then the one time she did fall in love with someone and wanted to be committed to one person, they cheated on her. And I feel like this could be a really great way to like develop her as a really multi-layered character. It's just not exploring that at all, and it's really annoying. So right now, take a shot, she is just someone who is, you know, notably upset and sad and doesn't believe in love because she got divorced. Like the one time she's like, okay, I'm gonna try monogamy, you know, she gets cheated on. Other than that, there is no other character depth. Like, we just learned that her father passed and her mom's not around. Like, she's just living her life without her daughter, and which is really sad. But I am just having a really hard time caring. I just wish that there was more to her character, and I feel like I would enjoy the book a little bit more. And I really like Josh's character because we've gotten him introduced as he's born and raised in New York. His dad's owned a really famous deli, but Josh is kind of like doesn't want the deli because he discovered the art of cooking, and so he's a chef now. I wouldn't say he's embarrassed by his dad's business, but he is just like, we can elevate this. He just has so much more depth to him. And as far as him and his relationships, he's kind of from the side where people aren't really like committing to him, or they get just about to the point where it's like a big thing, like they move in together, you know, get engaged, and the girl leaves him like right before then. So they're both facing some kind of relationship turmoil. Josh's character already feels so much more developed than Ari's, and I don't know if I care enough to learn about the rest of Ari's character. I'm 25% in. It's enough for me to be like, okay, I'm starting to care about this girl. Like, I do not care. So I'm considering DNFing it. I don't know. I may listen to some more today, and like, I don't want to put myself into a book slump either, you know? I only have 2 more books that I'm on schedule to read this month, and that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna and Project Hail Mary. Very excited for both of those books. The Nightingale, I'm stalling because I know it's going to be emotionally devastating. I want to end the month with Project Hail Mary. I think once I finish First Lie Wins, which hopefully is going to be this weekend, I can take a week to read The Nightingale and then take a week to read Project Hail Mary. And then I'll be done with the month of March as far as my reading goes. That's pretty much everything. I've talked this entire drive. I have probably like another 10 minutes or so to go. Oh, I finally finished editing my YouTube video of all the books I read in February. It's up now. I'll link it in the video. So that's pretty much it for right now. I'm gonna clock back into you again. I'm gonna give it another couple hours of reading. Like, I just have no desire to like hit play on this audiobook. If I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna DNF it and have no remorse about it. Hi, I want to show you my lunch. I made a jar salad. So I got spring mix, I got chicken, feta cheese, corn, black beans, red beans, bacon bits, and Italian dressing. Italian fat-free. Just dump it in a bowl. Your lettuce doesn't get like soggy because the dressing is separate. Your big chunky items, and then you put your lettuce on top or whatever. Come on. Dump everywhere. So save your pasta jars if you don't already. And then you get nice little salads. I don't know if it's gonna focus on my salad, girl. Focus on my salad. Like, let's just look at how good this looks. So guess what? I haven't read it all today. If you guess you again, you be correct. Don't have a desire to read it at the moment. I fear it's gonna put me into a reading slump. I'm just gonna read First Lie Wins. I honestly am liking it so far, so it is what it is. That's an update for you guys. Hello. I haven't checked in a couple days. So you're currently like in the handles of my cabinet. I really need to get a tripod. Here are some updates. I finished that book that I didn't like, You Again by Kate Goldbeck. Very not what I was expecting it to be. I ended up rating it 2.5 stars. The main thing that I liked about that book was, number 1, the declaration of love at the very end, and 2 was the fact that it was over. Yeah, it has placed me in a bit of a slump. Like, I'm just not vibing right now with any books, and that's really unfortunate. Let me update you on First Lie Wins. Okay, so of that book, I am 51% in, so I'm right at halfway. It's very interesting. I'm not like obsessed with it, but it's okay, you know? I'm hoping that it kind of picks up on something soon. I'm not like bored or anything. It's just not thrilling, and it's supposed to be a thriller, you know what I mean? We are currently in tornado season, so there's supposed to be storms this weekend, like really bad storms, like tornado level storms. I just went to the store, picked up a case of water, but I left it in my car because I'm not carrying that big old thing upstairs, and I bought a flashlight because I don't own a flashlight haul. So this is the flashlight that I got, and it came with batteries. I specifically got one with batteries because you're not about to catch me jacked up. So I also bought a pizza because I really wanted pizza tonight. Even if I lose my power for a day, I'll have a little bit of sustenance. Back at my old apartment, if the wind blew just over 3 miles per hour, my power would go out. Like, just about every single storm, my power was out, just because it was a little bit of an older building, but I also lived out in the country. I was on county power, so it just would go out all the time. Do I know how to put a battery in? Why isn't this working? Oh, we have light. Just turn the light off and see how bright it is. Wow. We have a flashlight. So if we lose power, I'll be able to see. That's fabulous. First things first, I'm the realist. I want to start editing this current video to upload that. I think I'm gonna do every other week, I'm gonna do like a reading vlog kind of thing. I also want to finish First Light Wins on my Kindle. And then I'm gonna start the Nightingale. I'm scared. Everyone that I've talked to that has read it before me, everyone has said be prepared to be depressed for a month afterwards. So, you know. I also have a rom-com that I'm thinking about reading in the middle of this, and it's called Raiders of the Lost Heart. Now, I looked at some Goodreads reviews, and a lot of people do not like that book, and it's for reasons that I probably would also not like the book. If I don't like another romance book, I'm going to DNF it. Like, I do not care. I wish I would have DNF'd You Again. Like, I'm so mad that I didn't because I feel like I'm in a slump. That's the plan. Finish reading First Light Wins. I'm gonna start the Nightingale this weekend. I used one of my Audible credits for the audiobook so I can read in tandem. I'm so excited. I also still have to read Project Hail Mary this month, but it's the middle of the month, so I definitely have time to finish both of those books, and then my whole March TBR will be done. With a couple extras, being You Again and then First Light Wins. My oven is ready, so let's go ahead and put the pizza in the oven. DiGiorno pizza, like, there's a reason those commercials are like that. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all how I prepare my pizza because I don't just throw it in there. I doctor it up a little bit, and this is from my mom. Take out the pizza. Bro, I thought I had it like this on the counter, and I thought I didn't have any toppings on it. I was about to be really upset. So what I'm gonna do is I'm taking this cardboard and I'm placing it, folding it inside out. Okay, so we're gonna take the pizza out of the plastic. Now we're going to season the pizza. Promise you, this makes a world of a difference. So we're gonna use black pepper. Let's go ahead and get that on there. I like pepper. The next seasoning is Italian seasoning. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Then we're gonna get our goats in the seasoning whirl. That is garlic powder, onion powder. Sprinkle it over everything. Even your generic brands are gonna taste a whole lot better. And then we are gonna put it in our oven. All right, see you later, girl. That's how I do my za. Another good thing is because you still have your box, you don't have to go dig in the trash. And we're gonna let this cook for 19 minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer. I like to keep my cardboard because that's what I can throw my pizza on when she's done cooking. We're gonna get to reading while this pizza cooks. Okay, this all just finished, so let's see what it looks like. She's looking a little pale. Oh no, it's good, it's good. I use 2 spatulas. She's beautiful. Like, she's looking gorgeous, and like, look at that seasoning and stuff on it. Yum. I also don't have a pizza cutter, but what I do is I cut it with scissors. I know it seems crazy, but it works. All right, so I'm gonna get back to it, and I'll update you if anything crazy starts happening. Hi. Remember when I said I was going to read for 2 hours last night? Yeah. That didn't happen. I ended up scrolling on my phone and watching TikTok and playing my little phone game. Today, we're gonna do some reading. I'm currently watching a video game stream right now. He's actually the one who creates my background music. He works with a music producer and he creates like copyright-free music for YouTubers. So it is 12:18, I'm just not eating. I did wake up at like 9 this morning, but I fell back asleep. So right now I'm making some breakfast. I went and picked up a package from my mailroom in my apartment. I got my last book haul. I actually just filmed a TikTok of what I just got, but I'm gonna do a formal video on here of all the books that I read after this vlog goes up. So that will be coming out soon. It'll basically be all the books that I've acquired the past month and a half. So yeah, so today I'm gonna finish First Light Wins today. Like I was saying last night, we are in the vicinity of really bad storms tonight, specifically tornadoes. Oh, I forgot, I want a bagel. Here's my favorite bagel brand, Dave's Killer Bread, and I love the blueberry one. Sorry this angle is like in my nostrils. So we're gonna put our bagel in. Oh, I don't have cream cheese. Dang. Okay, we're just gonna use butter, I guess. Okay, so my breakfast is done. Let me show you. Okay, so we got some strawberries. These are phenomenal strawberries. I got 2 eggs, salt and pepper. I put some cheese in there. I'm getting crazy this morning. And I got my blueberry bagel. And then I got some Greek yogurt, just vanilla, regular vanilla. That's my breakfast. And then I'm gonna do some reading. I'm gonna watch my little YouTube. And then I'll update you guys on the reading journey. I'll check back in when I finish a book or something crazy is happening. I found myself in TJ Maxx. Not reading. Because where on the street is somebody found books in here one time. I don't know if these are books or if these are journals. Okay, I was gonna get that copy of Little Women. I don't know what it is, if it's just my TJ Maxx or if this is like all TJ Maxx's. That line to check out is actually insane. So they had classics there. They had Little Women, they had Wuthering Heights, which I've never read. I've also never read Little Women. They had Jane Eyre. That's what my TJ Maxx had. As you can see that sign, we're at Aldi because I want to get some snackies. All right, we're back. Let's do a little mini grocery haul. Let's do a grocery haul. So we got some that's upside down. We got some Mambas. They're called They're called popcorn chips. If you remember, I was at a cream cheese this morning, so I got some more cream cheese, and I wanted to try the cider, Wicked Grove mixed berry cider. Hi. So I stayed up till like 3 a.m. finishing that book. Also, just ignored. Okay, so I ended up filming a video yesterday. The final minute count was 1 hour and 55 minutes. It was a massive book haul of all the books that I've accumulated through January, February, and a little bit of March. And I was gonna try and like start editing it to like go ahead and be ahead of myself. And the video had to go through processing because I used my cinematic mode on my phone. That's what I used to record. Apparently like 20 minutes of video takes like an hour to process, and it was an hour long video. So I let it process overnight, all right, and it finished this morning. But then I accidentally reset something on the video, so now it's gonna have to reprocess again. And I lost clips. I lost like a 7-minute clip that I'm just not gonna add in this video. It would have been like the clip before this. Like it won't load or download, so that's really unfortunate. I finished First Lie Wins. I was kind of shocked by the plot twist. Like I knew something similar to what happened was going to happen, but I wasn't expecting what did happen. I was like, oh my gosh. So I ended up really liking it. I think I'm gonna rate it like a 3.5 stars. I was entertained. I liked it. I think that if you're someone who is getting into thrillers again, I think you would like it. I would describe it more as like, I haven't been looking at the camera, haven't I? Sorry. I think I would describe it as like a heist movie. Like if you like maybe Ocean's 11, that is the best way that I can describe it. So today I'm going to edit this vlog. So this is gonna be my last entry. And this is such a beautiful shot too. I'm gonna try and only film in cinematic mode when I'm filming for YouTube, and just do all my vlog clips with my regular camera, because I'm not about to wait 8 to 9 hours for videos to process. Even though it looks beautiful, that's just something that I'm gonna have to invest in a actual like camera for, because that's crazy. I started processing it at 1 a.m. last night, and it had to have finished between like 5 to 9 a.m. Yeah, it's crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. Sorry it was a little chaotic. Hopefully it was entertaining. Be looking out for my next video. It's gonna be my massive book haul of everything that I've bought the past few months. It's gonna be crazy, so I'll catch you on the next one.